Hi, Scott Orlin with CINEMA-Magazin. Snowpiercer Season 2 is upon us, and I'm here with one of the stars, Daveed Diggs. Daveed, talk a little bit about the evolution of Andre for Season 2. What can we expect new from him?
Leighton has to learn how to be a politician, which is very new territory for him. And there's a whole new train worth of people and characters that he now has to either win over or be responsible for. And so the thing that is consistent for Leighton is he has to figure things out very quickly. He's used to that part, but the part where he doesn't get to really be behind the scenes, he's not a spy anymore. He's not undercover. Everybody knows who he is. He's the most famous person on the train. He has to do all of his sort of scheming right out in the open. It's tricky.
Talk a little bit about, I'm always fascinated with skill sets that actors have to kind of make us believe. And being a detective, what of those skill sets do you think you embody?
In my actual life, very few of them. I'm actually not a very observant person. I have a hard time talking to people. I guess like keeping things close to the chest, I'm pretty good at. And so that's the skill I share with Leighton, and the rest of it is acting. I think those. What I love about Leighton is his ability to kind of read a room very, very quickly, and understand who can be allies and who are probably not. And he's usually right about that, which is pretty cool.
He is part of the revolution, so to speak, about this class structure. And without getting overtly political with you, how much do you let your voice be raised when consequences face up that, things aren't right?
In my actual life, I mean, to the degree that I feel like I can be useful, I have a platform, and so when I can see my way into an issue and I can be useful, my whatever, like million view, like Instagram followers or whatever is useful about the thing as an amplification tool. I'm not, what I'm not is boots on the ground on the front line of any of these issues. So I take my lead from, the Equal Justice Initiative. So like the Hamilton cast getting together and being able to do a fundraiser for the EJI was like wonderful for me. And it was a way that I could use the platform that I have to divert funds to a cause and an organization that I think is doing great things with them. And that's really the most useful I can be. Or, when we wrote Chapter 319 as a song for people to march with during the protests regarding George Floyd, like that I felt very useful at that moment because people could take that song and use it. And so that's always nice when you can be an artist who makes something useful.
Part of the concept of the show is, this train, and outside the train, the temperature is like 120 minus 120 Celsius.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, how cold do they get it on set to give you that ambiance?
Generally not that cold. It really just depends on how many people are in the small train car. But it's not. We have to act cold a lot.
Little boys do love to play with train sets. Now that you're a bigger boy, is it still cool to play with a train set?
Trains are amazing. Yeah, trains are so cool. Of course, they are like amazing pieces of machinery. And yes, so like this is the biggest train set I ever got to play with.
What's the coolest? Obviously, please God, we're never going to have this apocalypse, and you're going to have to be on this train. But what's the coolest train trip you've ever taken?
I took a trip I was on tour with my band Clipping, and we played a show in Moscow, and the next night we're playing a show in St. Petersburg. So the train trip between Moscow and St. Petersburg was my first time ever being on in a sleeper car, with those bunks and stuff. And it's a long train ride. Those cities are not, they look very close together on a map, but Russia is massive. And so it was like a 10-hour train trip, and it was the best sleep I'd ever had in my life.
Well, hopefully you were in first class.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
So you understand the class system. David Digg, thank you so much. Snowpiercer Season 2, and this is Scott. Till next time.